Hello viewers, welcome to this online session of Introduction to the History of American Literature. The unit which I will discuss is the Puritan context. In this lecture, I shall discuss about the early European conquest in North America, the English expedition and establishment of the first settlement in North America, the hardships which the English settlers bore in the New World, the rising fortune and the Great Puritan Migration, and ultimately the Puritan life in North America. The history of colonial settlement in America can be traced back to 1492. The Spanish explorer Christopher Columbus sailed west to discover new trade routes to the Far East. He inadvertently stopped in a place which later came to be known as the New World. The Spanish expansion was spread through the Caribbean islands, South America, Central America, and much of North America. The Spanish control over the New World was based on individual aggrandizement, spreading Christianity, and seeking material wealth. They validated their military conquest to incorporate indigenous people into Christendom as the spiritual conquest. The French colonization. In 1564, French Protestants built an outpost near what is now known as Jacksonville in Florida. The French presence posed a potential threat to the Spanish territorial claim, and the fleet of treasures that sailed from Mexico to Spain, crossing the Atlantic Ocean. The Catholic Emperor of Spain, King Philip II, wanted to eliminate the French threat since the settlers were Protestants. It was unbearable for the King Philip II to see the Protestant French settlers moving around Florida. Therefore, the Spanish soldier and explorer Don Pedro Menendez de Aviles arrived in the Florida coast. Menendez first viewed the land on August 28, 1565, the day of feast of Saint Augustine. Therefore, he named the land as Saint Augustine in honor of the patron saint of his hometown, the city of Saint Augustine. Menendez, by his brilliant military maneuvering and sheer good fortune, was able to remove the French garrison from the coast of Florida. After that, he consolidated the Spanish control on the Florida coast. Saint Augustine was founded by Menendez, became the oldest European settlement in the New World. This city or Spanish colony was important from the military point of view because it gave defense to the Florida coast. It also acted as a Catholic military base because the missionary settlement for proselytization of Native Americans was done from this city of St. Augustine. This is the picture of the famous explorer Don Pedro Menendez de Aviles. The English expedition. The English expedition began under the charge of Sir Walter Raleigh, who was an adventurer and courtier to Queen Elizabeth I. In 1584, the Queen Elizabeth I granted a charter to set up colonies in North America. The goal of the Crown was to scout for potential locations in the eastern seaboard for future settlements and also to venture for reaches just like the Spaniards. In 1585, explorers found a small piece of landmass at the Roanoke Island. This settlement was founded by Ralph Lane. He was the first governor of Roanoke Island. The colony was thus formed as the Roanoke Colony. However, the colony of Roanoke suffered from lack of food and there was conflicting relations with the Native Americans. In 1586, General Ralph Lane abandoned the colony and went back to England. Virginia. The area around Roanoke Colony was named Virginia in honor of the Virgin Queen Elizabeth. The sailors reported to the Queen that the land was bounteous for them. In 1587, Walter Raleigh sent another expedition under the charge of John White to establish settlement in Chesapeake Bay. White left some colonists who were accompanying him in the ship in the Roanoke Island in order to bring more supplies regarding food and other colonists by 1588. However, he couldn't return till 1590. On his return in 1590, he found the settlement abandoned but fortified. The cryptic letter Croatoan was carved into the palisade. White interpreted that the colonists might have relocated with the neighboring Croatoan island. However, the fate of almost 121 colonists remained unknown till date. This is the map of the Roanoke Peninsula. The English settlement. In June 1606, King James I granted charter to a group of London merchants and gentlemen to form settlement around the Chesapeake Bay. The Virginia Company was thus established by this group of London merchants and gentlemen in order to form settlement near the Chesapeake area. They set out for the expedition finally in December 1606 with 140 colonists and in 3 small ships. They landed in a small peninsula of land in the banks of the river which they named after their king as James River. This land, which was their new settlement, was also named as Jamestown in reverence to their king. However, the colony suffered from shortage of drinking water. Also, there was poor hunting prospects in the colony. The colonists depended on trade with the native people and the supply of English ships for their food. This is the image of the first settlement in Jamestown. The adversities. Soon the colonists faced diseases, famines, and continuous conflict with the Native American tribes. Jamestown was swampy, it lacked drinking water, it was infested with mosquitoes, had limited space for farming. The early settlers were either gentlemen who were unused to hard labor, and their servants were also unaccustomed to develop the colony worth of their living. Moreover, the lack of water was prominent. Also, the dry season crippled the agricultural production. As a result, there was sharp decline of English population. It appeared that Jamestown would also meet the same fate as the earlier English settlements, especially the Roanoke settlement. Captain John Smith. In 1606, Captain John Smith got involved with the Virginia Company. The Virginia Company wanted profit from its settlement. Therefore, Captain John Smith arrived in Jamestown in 1607 to meet this purpose. He found the colony was suffering from extreme shortage of water and food supplies when he arrived. But he trained the settlers to work at farming and fishing. He wanted them to fend for themselves. He pronounced famously, "Who does not work shall not eat," and this was helpful for the colonists to grow their own crops. Smith also established a cordial relationship with the indigenous Powhatan tribe. Smith was forced to return to England in 1609 after an accidental explosion of gunpowder in a canoe. The arrival of John Smith helped the early settlement in Virginia from being disintegrated. The starvation time from 1609 to 1610. The third supply mission, which was supposed to come in 1609, was destined to Jamestown, carrying 214 new settlers and supplies. It was put on the experienced hands of Christopher Newport. However, the ships were blown away by a strong hurricane and drove away to the reef of Bermuda. The survivors remained stranded on the island for 9 long months. Meanwhile, the colony in Jamestown was undergoing through extreme starvation due to harsh winter season and excessive shortage of food. During this period, the colonists were forced to consume the flesh of their pets, and they even boiled shoe leather for sustenance. Scientific evidence has also proved that during this period, the colonists even resorted to cannibalism. The starvation period reduced the population of the colonists to 60 from the original 214 settlers. Rising fortune. The lost fleet from Bermuda arrived at Jamestown on May 1610 with food supplies to feed the surviving settlers. At that time, Jamestown was judged as unviable, and the colonists were about to abandon the place. It was during this time that another fleet arrived from England on June 1610 with food supplies to give temporary respite to the colonists. In the third fleet of third supply, there was a colonist named John Rolfe. John Rolfe brought to the Virginian soil a new variety of tobacco seed. This variety of tobacco seed proved to be quite successful. By 1614, Rolfe harvested a successful tobacco from the fields. Rolfe also married Pocahontas, who was the daughter of Chief Powhatan. This marriage alliance with the native tribes brought peace between the English and the Native Americans for a certain period of time. Virginia, the Crown Colony. The new variety of tobacco, which was introduced by John Rolfe in the Virginian soil, was preferred in London. It was in exceptional demand in the streets and taverns of London. Therefore, the demand for the cash crop of tobacco increased quite high in Virginia. After several hardships of initial years, Jamestown became the booming hub in the export of tobacco. Virginia became a prosperous colony by 1619, established as a General Assembly with members elected by Virginia's main landowners. Virginia established a General Assembly with the members elected by the male landowners. In 1624, King James dissolved the Virginia Company and made the colony the official crown with Jamestown as its capital. This is the image of Jamestown in 1619. It had grown into a full blooming city. The Plymouth Colony. The Plymouth Colony was another English colonial venture in North America from 1619 to 1691. The Plymouth Company had established colony on the coast of Maine in 1607, but it was soon abandoned. After 1607, the company remained non-valid. It was organized again under a charter in 1620 as Council for New England. The English Puritans were a group of separatists who were also known as Pilgrims. They were seeking a new land to practice their religious principles freely. The English Puritans arrived in New England boarding Mayflower ship. They landed in Cape Cod in 1620. There they established the Plymouth Colony. The Plymouth Colony occupied southeastern part of Massachusetts. This is the map of Plymouth. The diagram of the colony is from 1620 to 1691. The Great Puritan Migration. The Puritans conceived the New England as the religious refuge, and therefore they organized the Massachusetts Bay Company. Moreover, they wanted to escape the religious persecution perpetrated in England. They wanted to settle in a place where they could practice their religious beliefs in a more free manner. The Massachusetts Bay Colony was formed in 1629. The Great Puritan Migration took place under the leadership of John Winthrop in 1630. By 1640, the enterprise of Massachusetts had grown quite considerably. The settlements spread out in Boston, Dorchester, Watertown, Roxbury, Lynn, etc. In this map depicting the Great Puritan Migration, we can see how this sea route has been conceived. The ships which come from England is routed towards the eastern coast of America where the New England colony was formed. The colonies can be seen forming around the places like Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maryland, and Virginia. Similarly, there are also other places which were colonized by these Puritans, like the Caribbean Sea, Santa Lucia, Barbados, Antigua, Bermuda, and similar other places. The arrival of the Puritans in great number to this eastern coast of America points to the fact that they wanted to escape the religious persecution of England and look for a colony which they would build up to form a new utopia. By 1640, the religious increased. This led to the formation of colonies in other areas. The dissenters who opposed against the orthodox views of Christianity were expelled from Massachusetts Bay Colony. They settled down in Rhodes Island, which was chartered in 1644. The colony of Connecticut acquired independent status in 1662. New Hampshire became an autonomous territory by 1680. The colony of Maine became the part of Massachusetts by 1691. Thus, we can see that by the end of the century, the New World had developed into a great Puritan settlement. This is the map of the Puritan settlement in New England. This map shows the different states where the Puritan settlements were very prominent. The life of English settlement in New England. The migration of the Puritans was influenced by religious and political factors. Unlike the other settlers who settled down in Virginia colony, these Puritan migrants were not entrepreneurs. They were ordinary people who believed in the hard labor, whereas the migrants in other settlements had an aristocratic way of life. The settlers in the Puritan colonies was faced many hardships to make their colonies viable. The Puritan population was composed of people both young and old, families and individuals, whereas the settlers in other colonies were chiefly young individuals who had came to the New England in search for riches. The Puritan population migrated to the New World with the sole purpose to practice their religious principles freely. Therefore, in their company, the families and individuals were part of the migration. Nearly half of the Puritan immigrants were women. In the Virginia colony, the ratio of men and women was 4:1 in the initial days of settlement, while it changed to 2:1 towards the later part of the settlement. But in the Puritan settlements, the ratio of women was just the half of its men. The Puritans believed in their own labor, and they believed that only by their hard work they can make their colony a better place to live. Therefore, better place of living. Therefore, they inculcated the Christian religious principles along with the English lifestyle in their way of life. Thank you.